Uh, Okay. Good evening. This is a special meeting of the Amenia Town Board, Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, and it was set for 5:30. It's now 5:50. Let's start by saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And for those of you that may have forgotten, the emergency exits are the one you came in and the one over here. Would you like to do the roll call, Dawn?
Supervisor Blackman.
Here.
Council members Rebellard.
Here.
Ham.
Yeah, here.
Ahern. Here.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to accept the agenda, tonight's agenda. That's a new Ian thing.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, how about that? This is a non-consent agenda, which means we actually read out the resolutions tonight. And the first one is long, and Rosanna Ham graciously agreed as a former teacher to read it out. So,
Okay, so this evening you're beginning with resolution number 42.
42.
Are you ready? Bond resolution dated March 11th, 2025. A resolution authorizing the issuance of 3,902,850 bonds of the town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York, to pay the cost of the increase and improvement of the facilities of Water District Number 1 in the town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York. Whereas pursuant of the provisions heretofore duly had and taken in accordance with the provisions of Section 202B of the Town Law, and more particularly in order dated the date hereof, said Town Board has determined it to be in the public interest to improve the facilities of the Water District Number 1 in the town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $3,902,850. And whereas the capital project hereinafter described as proposed has been determined to be a Type 2 action pursuant to the regulations of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, promulgated pursuant of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which regulates state that Type 2 actions shall not have any significant adverse impact on the environment, and resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York, as follows. Section 1, for the class of objects or purposes of paying the cost of the increase and improvement of Water District Number 1 in the town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York, consisting of the construction of improvements to and reconstruction of elements of the water system required for regulatory compliance, reliability, and long-term sustainability, including replacement of the Laval Road Pump Station, reconstruction of the water tank, upgrades to the wells, construction of a new booster pump station, and reconstruction of water mains together with the original furnishings, equipment, machinery, apparatus, appurtenances, and incidental improvements and expenses in connection therewith, there are hereby authorized to be issued 3,902,850 bonds of said town pursuant of the provisions of the local finance law. Section 2, it is hereby determined that the maximum estimated cost of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 3,902,850, which class of objects or purposes is hereby authorized at said maximum estimated cost, and that the plan for the financing thereof is by the issuance of the 3,902,850 bonds of said town authorized to be issued pursuant of this bond resolution. Section 3, it is hereby determined that the period of probable usefulness of the aforesaid class of objects or purposes is 40 years pursuant to the subdivision 1 of the paragraph of section 11.00 of the local finance law. It is hereby further determined that the maximum maturity of the serial bonds herein authorized will exceed 5 years. Section 4, The faith and credit of said town of Amenia, Dutchess County, New York, are hereby irrevocably pledged for the payment of the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same respectively become due and payable. An annual appropriation shall be made in each year sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds becoming due and payable in such year. To the extent not paid from monies raised from said Water District Number 1 as applicable in the manner provided by law, there shall annually be levied on all the taxable real property of said town a tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds as the same become due and payable. Section 5. Subject to the provisions of the local finance law, the power to authorize the issuance of and to sell bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance and sale of the serial bonds herein authorized, including renewals of such notes, is hereby delegated to the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer. Such notes shall be of such terms, form, and contents, and shall be sold in such manner as to be prescribed by said supervisor, consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 6. The powers and duties of advertising such bonds for sale, conducting the sale, and awarding the bonds are hereby delegated to the supervisor, who shall advertise such bonds for sale, conduct the sale, and award the bonds in such manner as he shall deem best for the interests of said town, including, but not limited to, the power to sell said bonds to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, provided, however, that in the exercise of these delegated powers, the supervisor shall comply fully with the provisions of the local finance law and any order or rule of the state comptroller applicable to the sale of municipal bonds. The receipt of the supervisor shall be a full acquittance to the purchaser of such bonds, who shall not be obliged to see to the application of the purchase money. Section 7. All other matters except as provided herein related to the serial bonds herein authorized, including the date, denomination, maturities, and interest payment dates, within the limitations prescribed herein, in the manner of execution of the same, including the consolidation with other issues, and also the ability to issue serial bonds with substantial level or declining annual debt service, shall be determined by the supervisor, the chief fiscal officer of such town. Such bonds shall contain substantially the recital of validity clause provided for in section 52.00 of the local finance law, and shall otherwise be in such form and contain such recitals in addition to those required by section 51.00 of the local finance law, as the supervisor shall determine consistent with the provisions of the local finance law. Section 8. The supervisor is hereby further authorized at the supervisor's sole discretion to execute a project, finance, and/or loan agreement and any other agreements with the New York State Department of Health and/or the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, including amendments thereto, and including any instruments or amendments thereto, and the effectuation thereof, in order to effect the financing or refinancing of the class of objects or purposes described in section 1 hereof, or a portion thereof, by a bond and/or note issue of said town in the event of the sale of same to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. Section 9. The power to issue and sell notes to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation pursuant to section 169.00 of the local finance law is hereby delegated to the supervisor. Such notes shall be of such terms, form, and contents as may be prescribed by the supervisor, consistent with the provision of the local finance law. Section 10. The validity of such bonds and bond anticipation notes may be contested only if, number 1, such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which said town is not authorized to expend money, or 2, the provisions of law which should be complied with at the date of publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with. And an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days after the date of such publication. Or 3, said obligations are authorized in violation of the provisions of the Constitution. Section 11. This resolution shall constitute a statement of official intent for purposes of Treasury Regulations, Section 1.150-2. Other than as specified in this resolution, no monies are or are reasonably expected to be reserved, allocated on a long-term basis, or otherwise set aside with respect to the permanent funding of the object or purpose described herein. Section 12, this resolution, which takes effect immediately, shall be published in summary form in the official newspaper, together with a notice of the town clerk in substantially the form provided in section 81.00 of the local finance law.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Supervisor Blackman?
Yes?
Council members Ham,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Revelard?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Um,
Do we even continue? It's not
Okay, resolution number,
Just-
what?
Just so the board is aware, I've been made aware that we are not live on television, but due to the technical difficulties, as we're aware, and the brief delay, we are being filmed live on YouTube. So it's just not on Channel 22. He's trying to correct that as we speak.
Thank you. Okay, resolution number, don't tell me, 43 of 2025. Resolution rejecting all bids and authorizing the preparation and solicitation of new bids for the purchase and installation of a new digital LED sign for Amenia Town Hall. Whereas the Town Board by Resolution number 124 of 2024 authorized the preparation and solicitation of bids for the purchase and installation of a new digital LED sign for Amenia Town Hall, and whereas 12 bids were received in response, and whereas it has been determined that the solicitation of bids did not meet the bidding requirements of General Municipal Law 103, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Amenia has determined that it is in the best interest of the town to reject all bids and solicit for new bids in compliance with all state requirements. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The recitations above set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. The Town Board of the Town of Amenia hereby rejects all bids submitted in response to the town's request for bids. The Town Board hereby authorizes the town engineer to prepare the bid specifications and the purchase, I think for the purchase and installation of a new digital LED sign for Amenia Town Hall in accordance with the provisions of 103-D of the General Municipal Law in the State of New York and all other state requirements. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Supervisor Blackman?
Yes.
Council members Revelard?
Yes.
Ham,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Okay, are there any other matters?
There was today from that Zoom call about waiving that $477.
Oh, right. So, because the planning board has not had enough members appear to have a quorum for 2 meetings in a row, they asked if we would waive the fee that the applicants pay to be at those meetings, since there are 2 now that they have paid for that they haven't actually received. And I'm sorry, Rosanna, what did you just say the number was?
It was 477. I don't know if there was any cents in there, but I just remember that number.
And there are 2 of those, right?
No, that's the combination.
Oh, that's the
One was
combination.
one was for Levens, one was for, who was the other one that was on the planning board? For
Yes, of course, I wrote all this down.
the hearing. It's in the email. Anyway, so the 477 is the total, and,
They want us to waive?
Well,
Oh, Tower Hill was the other one.
Tower Hill, right. So,
Is this common practice?
to return the money or to not show up for your board meetings?
Yeah. I'm just not understanding who paid or who's paying?
The owners of the property typically pay the town board to appear. There's a fee.
Oh, but
Which
because our
pays-
board hasn't appeared,
Yeah.
the applicants are asking we waive the fee.
Right.
Yeah, and I was told by the planning board attorney that that we should be aware, and that the planning board members should be aware that there's a cost to the town, because they have to renotice this and various other things. I had suggested that maybe the planning board members who don't show should just split it, but apparently.
Thank you for saying that, because
You're
I'm kind of
welcome.
like ready, like, well, maybe they should pay for it.
Apparently, there's no legal precedent for that, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. I did call the town board members yesterday to see if there was any way they could get out of their commitments.
Oh, the
for
planning board members.
Tonight, the
Yeah.
planning board members, I'm sorry, that they get out of their commitments for tonight. Neither one of them could, but that makes a third meeting missed for one of them and a second meeting missed for the other. And when we get to 3 meetings missed, it becomes sort of a question as to whether they stay on the board. So, so I thought that we were done with these sort of problems, but apparently we're not. So,
Well, I don't feel like it's fair to the applicants to be paying a fee for a meeting that they had no control of.
and not only that, they're paying their consultants because this
Yeah,
is found
to be
out.
here,
They don't
yeah.
get the information until so late that the consultants also may charge them.
Right.
So it's kind of frustrating, and
So
there
the
was-
exact amount for the fees, and the fees cover the certified letters, the publishing, and the newspaper, and a few other odds and ends that I don't remember, but the total cost for both of them was $477.69.
So I'm going to make a motion that the town bear that cost, because I think it's unreasonable for the applicant to pay to have it advertised yet again. And hopefully we can communicate to the members of the planning board that we expect them to actually attend meetings on a regular basis.
So we're waiving a fee and we're paying a fee?
We're saying that the applicants aren't paying the fee, that the town is paying
Waiving the
fee.
applicant's responsibility.
Right,
Okay.
right, thank you. So.
But I think Leo was just trying to let us know that there is going to be more cost to us because now they have to re-advertise
Right.
for whenever the meeting is going to
Right.
be.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
So,
I'll second that motion.
oh, okay.
Sorry, Dawn.
Yeah, we got distracted for a minute.
Supervisor?
Yes,
Council members?
Yes.
Overlord?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
okay. Then I would like to suggest we go into executive session.
Oh, wait, real quick, let me,
Oh, yes,
I just want to
please.
announce that.
Oh, I didn't get to other matters because of that, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Weebatuck Little League is still taking signups for baseball and softball until the 20th, and it looks like this Saturday, the 3:15 at 10 a.m. to 12, they'll be doing baseball evaluations to see where your child will go, whether it's majors, minors, t-ball, senior league, depending on their age. So you still have time to sign up. And there's a QR code here, and I believe this is also hung at the door at the town hall, as well as on Facebook. You can find it everywhere.
So seniors are welcome to try out?
Senior League is 13 to 16 of
okay.
age. Sorry.
Okay. Any other town board comment or other matters?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then, in that case, I move that we go into executive session.
I'll second.
Nicole? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
6:10.
And we will adjourn directly from executive session. Thank you all for being here.
We go into your, oh,